So how can we build a life from the heart? If you haven't already, I highly suggest that you watch our Foundations of Freedom course, which is 3 workshops made into one course, where I go into this in a lot more depth. I'm going to keep it brief here in this video, but if you want a more in-depth idea of this, please check out the Foundations of Freedom 3 workshop course, which is available, of course, in our school community, if you haven't already. But how can we build a life from our heart? And what does that even mean? So, like I said, here we are in our natural state. Okay, so here we are sitting and meditating, and here's our heart. Connect to the cosmos, focus between the eyebrows, beautiful. So here's our heart. We're sitting here in our natural state of ease, right? We're at peace, we're at ease, we're joyous, it's cool, we want to build a life we want to live, but how can we do that? So, one way of thinking about it is that our entire life projects out from our heart. Our entire life, our relationships, our home that we live in. Again, I go through this in a lot more detail in the Foundation of Freedom course, so check that out. The car that we drive or don't drive, the money in our bank account, whatever our life is consisting of, the job that we work at, whatever, in some ways we can think about it as all projecting out from the heart. Why? Because all of physical life is vibration. All of physical life is vibration. It's all frequency. I'm sure so many of you watching this, if not all of you watching this, have heard that before. All of physical life is vibration, okay? So we're all just here vibing. But one way of literally thinking about that is that it's vibrating out from stillness. It's vibrating out from your core, which is stillness, which is at ease. And so when we touch stillness, we can learn to allow the vibrations of life to come out from a place of ease rather than a place of anxiety and stress. Because what happens when we're in these balls of stress and anxiety and we're all worked up and, our life is still projecting out from us, but it won't be as pleasant. It won't be as nice. It will be like a big dumpster fire. That's a fire. So it'll be like a big fire coming out from our heart, because that's what we're vibrating into the world. And what we're emanating from our core is what our life will consist of. Okay? So what we're emanating from our heart is how our life will look physically. Our relationships, our friendships, the so-called lessons we think we're learning, our house that we're living in or not living in, the car that we're driving or not carving, the money we have or don't have in our bank account, everything in our life, the job that we work, the situations we're in, again, the type of relationships and the challenges we're having. So if you're someone watching this and you keep dating the same kind of people who treat you the same way and you struggle with them in the same way and they don't respect you and they don't treat you well and you want to find a way to get out of that and you want to find a way to change that, and you keep thinking to yourself, why do I keep ending up with the same people? Why do I keep struggling with the same people and having the same situations? This is something to consider. What is it that you're putting out into the world that's causing this dumpster fire? That's a little harsh, but what's causing all these struggling relationships in your life? It's you. It's you having your experience. So what are you putting out there that's attracting the other? Because one thing that we need to recognize and take responsibility for is that what we're facing in front of ourselves is a direct representation of what we're projecting out of here. So when we're at ease, when we're at peace, it doesn't mean bad things won't happen, quote unquote bad things won't happen. It doesn't mean people won't die. It doesn't mean people won't get sick. It doesn't mean we may fall in hard times. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that we're in the prime position to set ourselves up in a way that we do prefer, that we set ourselves up in a way that no matter what happens out here, we're at complete ease. We're at complete peace and relaxation. That's what this means. It means that we're in the perfect place, in the perfect state to handle everything out here. Without confusion, without unnecessary emotions, we can handle it beautifully. Even if we have to mourn, even if we have to grieve, we can still do it deeply, beautifully. But then we can still come out and handle life beautifully. But if we're constantly in this state of anxiety, stress, anger, frustration, overrelation, and just confusion and not seeing things clearly, then no matter what happens out here, good or bad, we'll handle it kind of in a messy way. We'll handle it in a sloppy way because we're not clear within here. This gives us clarity. And again, it doesn't mean that things bad won't happen. It doesn't mean that we won't experience death or mourning or things like that. Of course we will. But we'll handle it so much more skillfully. We'll handle it so much more beautifully. We won't handle it like we're touching a hot pan that we can't let go of. Because that's a lot of the time what it's like to live in this. It's like you're clutching a hot pan and you know it's hot, but you just don't let go of it because it's all you've known. All I know is this hot pan burning my hand. I'm not going to let go of it. But here you recognize I am not that pan. I don't need to hold it. I put it down and handle it skillfully. I pick up a cloth and grab it so I'm not burnt, whatever it is. But you handle life skillfully here, whereas from here, it's a lot more confused and not so skillful. So that's what we mean here when we're discussing building a life from your heart. We're literally thinking about how we project our life out from our heart, how our vibrations, our frequencies are projecting and building the life around us. So that's why a lot of the times people speak about law of attraction, manifestation, all these things. All that means is learning to come to ease and then watching your life unfold from that ease. That's it. Living in the flow and watching life unfold from that flow. And so the whole process of manifestation, of self-realization, of the law of attraction is learning to go from here back to here. Learning to recognize when you're in this state and learning to move back to here so that this life can unfold, not this life. So again, I say for one final time, when we want to build our life from our heart, it's about recognizing that our vibrations can come from our heart directly. And so the life that we build, the house that we live in, the car that we drive in, the relationships that we have, the lessons that we're learning can come and emanate from the heart rather than a confusing fire of just anxiety and negative emotion, which a lot of us do. And so manifestation, law of attraction, everything like that is just about learning that a lot of the times we're living here, but we want to be living here. And so how can we live here? By connecting with the heart, by learning to listen to the heart. That's what we're doing in this series of videos. We're learning to listen to the heart so that we can build a life we want from the heart, not building the life from here. All right? Again, if you want to know more about this in detail, please do check out our 3-workshop course, which is Foundations of Inner Freedom, to be completed in 3 days, 1 video a day. And I'll see you guys in the next video.